Hi, good morning, grade 8. How are you? Hope you all are fine. I'm doing well as well. So, today, right now, we are going to continue with the chapter, The Summit Within. The last video in the last class, I had told you about the brief summary, and I told you overall, I had given you an overall view of the chapter about HPS Ahluwalia, and also what was a brief story, or what was a brief summary about the entire story I have told you. So today we will go into a detailed study of the chapter. So a very warm welcome to you all, and hope you will understand the chapter along with me. And today we will do half of the chapter. The rest of the chapter we will be doing in the next class or in the next video. Okay, so let's see what HPS Ahluwalia is about to tell us today in the very chapter, The Summit Within. Okay, so so uh, let us read the chapter in a let us read the chapter now. Okay, of all the emotions which surged through me as I stood on the summit of Everest, looking over miles of panorama below us, the dominant one, I think, was humility. The physical in me seemed to say, "Thank God, it's all over." However, instead of being jubilant, there were a tinge of sadness. Was it because I had already done the ultimate in climbing and there would be nothing bigger to climb, and all roads hereafter would lead down? So, what does the chapter tell us in the first paragraph? You can well see in the screen, I have told you about the starting line and the ending line of the first para, and thereof I'm going to explain you the chapter in a detailed manner. So in first para, what we find is that of all the emotions that surged through HPS Ahluwalia, that is through me, I was standing at the topmost level, the highest peak of Mount Everest. And while I was looking down from there, the entire panorama, here panorama refers to the entire view, which was below us. Why? Because I was standing at the topmost level and everything under that was below us. The dominant one, I think, was humility. So the entire thing after this that would have come was humility. People was talking about us, and whatever we had surpassed was humility. We always questioned whether we will be able to do it or not. So that was all about humility. The physical in me seemed to say, "Thank God it's over." So, after this hard trouble, after this entire moment, whether we will be able to do it or not, this entire thing has finally come to an end, and finally we have achieved it. Finally, it's done. Okay, so we are thanking God that, okay, finally it's over. However, instead of being jubilant, jubilant here refers to excessive happiness done the ultimate, there was a tinge of sadness. So instead of being very happy, there was a tinge of sadness inside us. Was it because I had already done the ultimate? So why was the sadness there? Is it because we have already done the ultimate that was about to be done and we have nothing else to do right now? There would be nothing higher to climb and all roads hereafter would lead down. So whatever we had to rise up to, we have like risen up. Now is it why am I sad? Is it because whatever will come next is only that will lead the road down? Is it that's why I am unhappy? Is it so? So the entire question is towards the uh, like the author also is questioning himself also as well as the reader. Now we are going to the second paragraph, which starts with my climbing the summit of Everest. Okay, by climbing the summit of Everest, you are overwhelmed, that is, you are overjoyed by a deep sense of joy and thankfulness. So once you are done with this climbing of mountain, you are both joyous as well as thankful, and you are satisfied. It is a joy which lasts a lifetime. So this joy of climbing the mountain will last in your life for a lifetime. Till death, you will be carrying this satisfaction inside you. The experience change you completely. The man who has been to the mountains is never the same again. So a person who has climbed the mountain will never be the same person again. A person who has been through the mountain range will never be the same person again. He will be totally a changed person, as we have discussed previously also. Now we move on to the third paragraph, which starts with, as I look back at life. As I look back at life after climbing Everest, I cannot help remarking about the other summit. So, after climbing the Mount Everest, I cannot really forget about talking of the other summit that we all have in our life. The summit of the mind, the summit, the peak that we all have inside our heart, inside our mind, which is no less formidable, which is no less to be taken for granted, and no easier to climb. And this climb is not really easy. This climb is really, really hard. It's very hard to climb to the highest peak of your mind. And to climb and understand your mind is not that easy. That's what we find in the story. Let's move to the fourth para. Even when getting down from the summit, once the physical exhaustion had gone, I began asking myself the question why I had climbed Everest. Why did the act of reaching the summit have such a hold on my imagination? It was already a thing of the past, something done yesterday. With every passing day, it would become more remote. And then, what would remain? Would my memories fade slowly away? So the author is asking himself as well as the other readers that is it so that with the passage of time everything will fade away? Even my memory, even this hard struggle of climbing the mountain, will this also fade away in life? And will it fade away from my mind as well? The author is questioning himself as well as the question is thrown towards the reader. We can also answer the question. Okay. Let's move on to the fifth para, which starts off with all these thoughts. Okay. So, all these thoughts led me to question myself as to why people climb mountains. Even when getting down from the summit, the physical exhaustion I had began myself to question. So, right now, even after this, all these thoughts led to the question myself because this obstacles, this entire thing, all these thoughts led to question myself as to why people climb mountains. It is not easy to answer the question. The simplest answer would be, as others have said, because it is there. It represents great difficulties. Man takes delight in overcoming physical obstacles. The obstacles in climbing a mountain are physical. A climb to a summit means endurance, persistence, and willpower. The demonstration of these physical qualities is no doubt exhilarating, as it was for me also. So, this mountain climbing is not easy. It takes away the breath from one person. Once you are not able to climb it, you might also, in the process, lose your life. You can also lose your life climbing the mountain. So, having this notion, having this enthusiasm or taking up the challenge of mountain climbing is not that easy. It can also take away your life. Okay. I have a more personal answer to the question. From my childhood, I have been attracted by mountains. I had been miserable, lost when away from mountains in the plains. Mountains are nature at its best. Their beauty and majesty pose a great challenge. And like many, I believe that mountains are a means of communion with God. So here we find that the the author is actually questioning the thing that I feel it. I at times wish to question it personally that this mountain climbing is not that easy. This mountain climbing is not that easy, and once a person has climbed the mountain, he has found the union with God. As if climbing the mountain is referring to as a union with God, because you have achieved something great as seeing God or getting close to God or becoming one with God. As if climbing mountain is such a hard thing and is such a hard thing, as if it is a union or communion with God. Let's move on to the next para. Once having granted this, the question remains, why Everest? Because it is the highest, the mightiest, and has defied many previous attempts. It takes the last ounce of one's energy. It is a brutal struggle with rock and ice. Once taken up, it cannot be given up halfway, even when one's life is at stake. The passage back is as difficult as the passage down onwards. And then, when the summit is climbed, there is the exhilaration, the joy of having done something, the sense of a battle fought and won. There is a feeling of victory and happiness. So, in the story, we find that it is a kind of happiness once you climb the mountain. Once you climb the mountain, it is a kind of happiness that you see. It's a kind of happiness that comes about. And climbing the mountain is not that easy, even though it brings joy in our face. But mountain climbing takes a lot of struggle to climb. It's not that easy to climb a mountain. Mountain climbing takes effort. You need to fight with rocks and ice in order to climb a mountain. A mountain climb can be icy mountain also. It can be full of rocks also. So once you are trying to climb the mountain, you can also shed out of the mountain. So it is not easy to climb the mountain as such, right? So it takes us time, it takes effort in order to climb the mountain. So the way downward also is a lot more struggle. The struggle that you have taken up to climb the mountain is no less than the struggle that you will take up in order to come down the Mount Everest, right? Or coming down the mountain. Moreover, it can be said that while climbing the mountain, it might also happen that you tend to lose your life. There are many people, we have heard also of many incidents where people lost their life while taking up the challenge of climbing a mountain. So thank you. Hope till this much this chapter is clear to you. In the next class, we will continue with the rest of the chapter. Thank you so much, grade 8. We will meet you the next video. Bye-bye. See you soon. Keep your health good and take care of yourself as well as your family members. Goodbye. Take care.